Ugh. Every time that electricity goes off, I can feel it.
I feel it on my spinal cord.
I feel it too, but not in a bad way.
Everything. Everybody,
I have
welcome.
that stuff too in a secret compartment in my car.
I want to know where the secret compartment is.
That's where I keep my tools.
Be secret.
Yeah, that defeats the purpose.
What if I go discover it? Like, go explore for it?
Don't go looking for stuff you don't want to
I
get
was
in.
going to say, then you might uncover and discover things you might not want to know.
That's true. That's true.
To assume that we always want to know everything
We don't.
is a misconception. That's an internet behavior.
Yeah.
All isn't always good.
You don't want to know.
Everyone liking you isn't good. Being all powerful or all popular. Right, because I mean, just being popular doesn't mean you're popular for something cute.
No.
That's why, think about iTunes. It has all music. Does anybody give a shit?
Not really.
No. No.
So there's a perfect example of all. YouTube has all the videos, but you can only look up 3. See how that works?
Hate it.
Right.
We can do better.
Right, Google, you can go in the search bar and you can search for all and everything, but it's only going to give you about 10 results.
What, you've never been to the 20th page on a Google search? That's when you start getting into the weird crap.
I have.
This is what I'm saying. Wherever you're sitting right now, whatever state you're in or city that you're in, type in top 20 current hard rock and heavy metal bands in 2023 and 2024.
Oh, yeah,
even
can't be done.
With all the technology on Bing, even with all the AI, with all the music that all of everybody puts on all of the platforms everywhere, the never-ending, ever magnified omnipresence of the internet, you can't search for 10 bands in your own city.
Nope.
Google is all powerful and AI is all knowing and we're on the frontier. It's 2024. We have everything. We have all of everything. We've got the pyramids. We've got the Rosetta Stone. We've got Siri, huh? We've got all kinds of tools. You can't search for a heavy fucking metal band in your own town.
That's fucked up.
Country you're in, it doesn't matter. People think that the internet is the same everywhere.
It's not.
Like, if the internet was the thing that they described to us originally, where we could all hang out and share ideas and information, you could talk to your friends in, I don't know, North Korea or Beijing or South Africa. You guys could play chess and you guys could make virtual metal bands and upload your music to the platforms of all. Right? Mm-hmm. But here's the fucking problem. No one would be able to even search for you. What the fuck good is AI or searching for something that it won't allow you to discover?
Right.
If you can't look up something like musicians in town, there's not a website for, like, even after all these years, 100 fucking years of modern music, you can't even look up a full list of female-fronted bands. There's nowhere is there a fucking list that says, here is a database, here's an index, here is a list of people that play music. From all type of, there's only 2 people that are allowed to make music. Adele and Drake.
Not even Taylor Swift?
And Taylor. No,
she's climbing up there.
She might not even make music. I think it's something else that she's making.
I hope it's cookies.
I hope it's cookies.
Making whoopee. Wow. Melissa's
That's a retro. What is this, 1942?
We're going to talk about that. Because it's 2000. and 24.
The Roaring 20s.
And do you guys take New Year's resolutions serious? All right, because nobody else does. So supposedly it's 2024, but we don't really know. Do you have any New Year's resolutions, Melissa?
No,
Oh,
I don't.
Gotcha.
I didn't really think about a resolution.
okay. Welcome to the Honeycomb Hideout. It's every Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Once they let us.
Mm-hmm. Please share the feed. So if you're just tuning in now, it really helps if you could just share the live feed. It helps us get it out. The more we head into the future, I think that artists, content creators, and people on the internet forget that more people are coming on the internet. And with more people joining us on the internet, this year, more people are becoming creators. More people are starting bands. More bands are figuring out maybe they should try some live streams. So this episode is about the new year, but really it's more so what the new year represents, and it's more. But before we really get into that, what do you think, and this is for people in the comments too, it's 2024. Most people do New Year's resolutions and they say stuff like, I'm gonna, stop drinking my own bath water. I'm gonna quit smoking. I'm gonna stop lying to my friends.
I'm going to eat better and go to the gym.
I'm gonna wear a fucking condom.
Oh, I'd never do that.
So, if I was you, I would think about what you're not gonna do. Because people don't really take New Year's resolutions very seriously. To me, it seems much more common sense to cut the fat rather than add in projects in our already busy lives. So let's make room.
Kevin said my resolution is to see a band called Sepsis.
Woo!
That's a good
I like it.
Well, I will say this too. I was saying earlier how there is lack of places that you can go in the digital environment, for sure, that indexes a complete database of their local and regional musicians. In fact, if you live in California or Tennessee, or maybe you're in Alabama, I seriously, highly doubt that there are any websites or companies that are working hard or care enough to organize their cities in their region. I doubt that they are ambitious enough about their local and regional musicians where they collect, store, and organize and index their local and regional musicians in a clean, comprehensive, and updated way. But here, if you are a rock and roll or a hard rock or metal act here in New England, that's not true.
Right.
So if you are, now I feel bad for everybody in the whole fucking world that makes hard rock and heavy metal because you're not as cool as New England.
They may not be Google searchable, but there is one place where they might be.
And New England rock and metal.com has a complete index of all New England hard rock and heavy metal acts. If you ever really wanted to know, if you wanted a really comprehensive and complete list of rock, metal, alternative, punk, there's no gatekeeper bullshit, none of this, you're not metal, who's metal, what's really metal, it's from any spectrum, hard rock, heavy metal, and punk music, and heavy music, all included, all in one. I'm not sponsored by these folks. They don't give us anything. I don't owe them anything. New England Rock Metal.com. New England Rock and Metal Radio.com. Look them up so I make sure I got that right. Please.
Not only that, they update everything that's going on with bands.
There's no way. If you are in a state and you do not have a website like New England Rock and Metal Radio, then you have fucked up big time. This is, I mean, you got to understand, New England is 6 states. This website covers 6 states of music. Lexi's going to look that up. So I know I was saying that earlier about, oh no, nobody, even Google doesn't index,
Right.
rock and roll bands. But check them out.
It is nrmradio.com.
And again, I'm not sponsored by them. I just love them. They're great, real, authentic supporters. Mm-hmm. Like all of our friends. Just like our friends here at, you see I got these Legion of Solace bracelets.
Heck yeah!
If you guys want a free Legion of Solace bracelet,
Heck yeah!
you'll have to message us. We'll send you one. But only if you let us know that you've seen them on this episode. If you didn't watch this episode, you're not getting it. So there you go.
Yeah.
No, you have to you have to see us at like Connecticut. We'll give you one. We have a whole box.
January 13th.
Yeah, guys, definitely get down to Toad's Place in Connecticut, January 13th. Before we go, I will have Lexi read off all the bands again before we get out of here. That way, everybody knows for sure. And we'll have another podcast before then. How's the tattoo, bro?
Itchy.
Oh, you're starting to get the itch.
Yep.
It's fast though.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's gonna blow any moment. It's like scabbing over.
Yep.
Oh.
Nice.
So
you're
close.
reaching the end.
Yeah.
So
you always
happy
want to
for
like,
you.
but just whatever you do, obviously.
I know.
So what sorts of things can we do without in 2024? Everybody else. What stuff on the internet? What sort of trends? What sort of stuff are we tired of? Social stuff, social media. What is it? What can we leave behind us?
People airing out their dirty laundry in a Facebook post.
Okay, there's a great one. You heard that, Melissa? People that like to settle their personal differences on social media.
Yeah.
Can we be done with it? And I'm going to tell you why. I think that's great, Lexi. I think humanity should leave settling personal differences and airing out our personal details and dirty laundry on social media. Why? Because people that go to social media looking to supposedly find resolutions to their personal issues are not looking for compromise or resolution. They are only looking for attention. And that is why we should be done with that in 2024. Just fucking stop.
Right?
Here's another one we should be done with. Tagging everyone in everything that you do.
Oh my god.
Killer! That's killer!
Give it a fucking break. Just stop doing it in 2024.
Not just 2024, but forever.
Right.
From this point forward.
From this day forth!
It won't make a comeback. Because we don't care.
Another thing we could stop doing in 2024. Everybody knows already to like, share, subscribe. Shut the fuck up! And then hit the bell.
Yeah.
They'll either hit it or not.
We know!
We know it's available. We know it's there. Thank you for telling us every single video.
Unrelated, don't forget to like and subscribe.
So painful.
I love this podcast.
It's cringy as shit.
So that's that. Another thing that we could do. We don't need a social media page for our elbow. Like, people got social media pages for the dog. They got social media pages for their AI. And you know, not people are doing that now. Now people have, their AIs now have social media. It's not so it's them that, yes.
Oh, God.
There's going to be another entire social media where just AIs interact with each other and human beings watch. They even have websites now where you don't like the music anymore. The robots listen to the music. They like it for you. They play your video games for you, and they rate them while you watch them live your human life.
This is horrible.
They probably come over and fuck your girlfriend, too, if you ask them nicely.
This is horrible. This is horrible. That is a horrible. That was the worst
No, people are
sentence
into
I've
that. Are
ever
you kidding me?
heard.
Come on, dude. You don't think people come over and have robots tag their girl? That's going to happen. Or boy.
Right?
We've been through this before. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat right now if you'd fuck a robot. I'm putting a 1 up. I'm going to fuck a robot as soon as one comes out. As soon as and it's not dangerous enough. You're going to do it first. And it's going to be a different one.
I mean, it does already exist. It's just very expensive.
There's a 1 in the.
I only got a 1.
Ha!
Aha!
Whoever said 1, thank you for admitting to having sex with robots.
Got another 1.
See? Look how many people will fuck a robot. That's what I'm saying. You guys are real people.
Thank you for being honest.
Only real people have sex with robots. And admit it.
Right.
Only fake motherfuckers will fuck a robot and lie on it.
Yeah. You don't want to admit it.
Most people will fuck robots and lie about it.
Right.
That's what's going to happen.
Wah, wah.
You don't think so? Put a 2 in the chat if you think people are going to fuck robots and lie about it. Definitely. Put a 3 in the chat if robots are going to fuck people and they're going to lie about it.
We got a 2.
This one's...
2, 2, 2.
I'm
That was quick.
telling you.
2.
No, people keep it real, man, on this fucking podcast. Nobody... Yo, listen, everybody in the swarm knows the deal. We don't need to
Right.
bullshit each other.
3, 3, and 3.
See, our community keeps it real.
They know.
3 threes?
Thank you for keeping it real,
Thank
y'all.
you for keeping it real.
That's how you know that y'all have, like, watched this program every single Wednesday let us.
You're in the right place.
Yeah, like, thank you all for keeping it real.
Melissa, and do you have any things we could leave in 2023?
What's the question?
The question was, you know how they have New Year's restitution?
Yeah.
Well, now we're looking for a New Year's resolution. And the only way to really come up with a resolution is if we cut the fat. Like, what are some things we can do without? Something we could do without every single year is like, I don't know, pedophilia. We could do that every year. We could just be done with it. We should have been done with it. How, snitching. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. We know that's obvious stuff. But what stuff recently? Mine was everybody hitting that fucking everyone button. You know, when people tag you in everything, they tag you in their dinner. They tag you in their new socks. They tag you in, they tag you when they fucking... Some people tag you in shit that you're not even doing. If I'm doing it, fucking A, tag it. But do I need to be tagged, like, when you're, in the woods, half naked, drinking ayahuasca? Do I need to be tagged in every single hurricane that you're, was safe from hurricane? Tag William in New Hampshire.
I think people definitely overuse that button.
Well, what happens if you need to really get tagged, huh? Then I'm not going to believe you. You're going to be like,
Right.
oh, I was eaten by wolves at everyone.
If you're gonna use it, there's nothing wrong with it. You should just use it when it should be used. Just people abuse it.
Right, it's kind of like when bands say big news coming.
At 12 o'clock in a week from now.
Right. Big news next Tuesday at 4. It's very MySpacey.
Friggin'
Yeah.
hate that.
Another thing we should do with that is taking pictures of our dinner.
Let's... Right!
I will never stop doing
You want to know why? Because people cook the same shit. There's only so many times we could see fucking grilled cheese.
To be fair, I take pictures of all my food, but I never post it. That's just for me.
That's
That's
the
so
difference.
different.
I travel, though, so it's like,
That's so different.
That-
I
that's
feel that's
different.
right up there with vagina and dick pics. Take as many as you want.
Right. I'm just not going to share it on
Right,
Facebook.
don't share all of them. Right, just save a little for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's just for me. And the cloud.
Right, like when you're uploading your pictures to the cloud, like who is there with the keys, like to the cloud?
Your
Like
face.
I'd love to see the old man in that hallway. Oh man, think about all the stuff that gets uploaded to the cloud. It's a dirty
Oh,
cloud.
I'm sure it's not all pretty either.
It's a stormy sitch. All right. There you have it. It's AI or everything. You know, this is people that have been arguing with me lately about AI because they think it's taking over the world again. And I said, man, the thing makes bad pictures and terrible music. Like that's what it's known for so far. Like if you're an artist or a musician, there's absolutely nothing even interesting yet about artificial intelligence. I mean, it doesn't do what you ask it to do, and it can't do it for more than 2 or 3 seconds.
Here's why I think AI should take over the world, though.
Okay.
Right now, the long-term care facility that is known as Congress isn't doing that good of a job, so probably AI would most likely do a better job.
Well, you know what it can't do? It can't write music.
Yeah.
With all the musicians that are terrified about it making great music, I don't hear people excited or playing lots of AI artists yet. With so many people terrified of it taking away their painting jobs and stuff like that. So far, I haven't heard any of my artistic friends raving about AI art. And if you've ever used it, we have a handful of AI products and programs that
When it came out, I use it all the time.
and we've been using them for as long as it come out. And what we have discovered about AI so far in terms of art is that it's really inaccurate, especially like generative or speech-based generative AI apps. If you've been playing video games your whole life, it doesn't feel very intelligent. I mean, it's kind of the same stuff the same kind of technology that was in prisons and in the military for sure. But I can remember facial recognition and different, that stuff's been around for a long time. These are the most effective ways we've used AI is like in your iPhone to unlock your iPhone.
Yeah.
When you think of AI being effective and when musicians or artists are talking about it, we usually talk about it in terms of fear. But if you have been on the field, like me and Melissa are always in there getting our hands dirty with the stuff, just like we were with NFTs and the metaverse and everything. People thought the metaverse is gone. People thought that VR is gone or that's something that has been abandoned. Like AI, we've been training this technology over the last, 4 years. Solid. We've accelerated training on it. And the programs that you see that are presented to a consumer base today are still very much beta style productivity. You can't make videos more than 3 or 4 seconds. You can't. There's not a ton of creativity in terms of asking something to create something for you.
Right.
So it's not going to take over that sense of fulfillment. You are still missing a very important layer. And that layer is the relationship that you have with living things. And, are you ready? Art imitates life. And that's where the disconnect is with AI. Is you can be a fan of it, but you can't be a fan. You cannot be a fan of it in terms of the same way human-generated art generates art because we're living and art imitates life. It's not that people love Lizzo or they know Melissa or they love my guitar riffs. Many times it's that there's less of what a consumer or a listener or even a super fan would have in relation to an artist. More so to where their imagination can connect them to another living, breathing human being. There's still a possibility that you can have a conversation with Taylor Swift. There's no possibility you're ever going to see your AI assistant jump out of your phone. Not in the 70 years that you're alive.
Right.
And people know that. You know, you're never going to be able to customize, you know, your super obedient, passive, people-pleasing AI girlfriend that never says no and pull her out of the phone to replace your mom.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. And I digress. All right. So, 35 things you never knew about New Year.
Yes, I like stuff like this.
I wrote them down.
What?
Just for you.
Let's go.
Ready?
And go.
Over 50 tons of trash is left in the New York Times Square New Year's Eve celebration. You heard that, Melissa? That's fantastic, huh? How do you guys like New Year's? You guys like celebrating? Over 50 tons of fucking human waste and trash is left in the Times Square after the New Year's Eve celebration.
Gross.
Happy New Year.
And waste.
Here's another. The confetti that is dropped in Times Square is holding secret messages.
Really?
It's a mosaic of bullshit. It's a mosaic of human beings whining about their consumer lifestyles. Yep. The confetti in Times Square has thousands of people's prayers and wishes written on them. Yep. In 2015, Wishfetti became part of the tradition. People write their wishes for the new year and submit them to the Wish Wall in Times Square, where they wish for their lives to be better later on.
Oh, that's to say that they're...
That sounds really dumb.
Suckers have hope.
What do you guys think about that?
That's cringy.
Sounds
Sorry.
really dumb.
That's really cringy.
I want to
It's
make
a-
fun of those people for
It's a
doing that.
tradition where people write down on a sticky note how much they wished their lives were better later on in their lives.
For it to get dumped on other people. Or
That's so cringy.
shitting themselves while sitting in Times Square for hours on it.
It was really
Oh, this is so
I
gross.
mean,
Tell me I'm wrong. I bet you that's one of the facts of how many people have to wear adult diapers when they go to that.
I never
I
thought
don't know
of
if
it.
you've ever been to Manhattan, but there ain't a lot of public bathrooms.
Oh,
That's true. No, he's right.
Surprise!
Oh, that's
Yo,
nasty.
I got some crazy stories about Manhattan, but I can't share them on this podcast. If you hear plates breaking in Denmark on New Year's Eve, congratulations, it's New Year's Eve.
Call the police.
Yeah, no, apparently it's good luck to break your dishes. So on New Year's Eve, everybody, they have some really strange economic stimulus packages over there. So apparently, to get people to buy new dishes. So I was confused by this because a friend of mine in Denmark only buys plasticware. I'm just kidding.
Screw the turtles.
ABC's New Year's Rockin' Eve, okay?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That show is a long-standing bullshit tradition. Okay? Dick Clark began hosting the show in 1974. In December 2004, Clark suffered a stroke, and Regis Philbin had stepped in last minute to host. I'm sorry to hear that. In 2005, Clark officially handed hosting duties over to Ryan Seacrest,
Who hasn't aged a bit.
It's just a Botox.
Oh.
Most New Year's resolutions aren't taken too seriously. Over 80% of resolutions made in the beginning of the year are forgotten about by February.
Yep.
That's how quick human beings forget stuff.
No, I love this kind of stuff. Because people don't know this about me. And I'm going to let it be known. If you make a resolution or a promise around me, don't ever make a promise around me and think I'm going to forget. I fucking love watching people pretty fucking pinky fucking swear fucking pretty fucking promise. I can't wait till a motherfucker come around me. People pleasing pretty fucking pinky fucking promise. I fucking catch a fucking tiger by the fucking toe. I can't wait. I'm waiting for people to fucking double fucking dare pinky fucking promise me. Because I'm going to get ya.
That's why I never make promises to anybody, so I can never be a liar or disappoint them.
Right. Don't put yourself at it. Like I said in life, there is taking the advantage, and then there's taking an advantage. Don't take advantage of people. Take an advantage. Don't misuse. Use. We always telling people all the time in this group, for those who haven't heard the lesson yet, we always remind people to use each other. People need people. There is no one person that can make a band. There is no one or two people that can make a pencil. There's not even one or two or three or 10 people that can make a podcast. It takes people to mine for precious metals and stones. It takes electricians to plug us into the house. It takes all type of... Melissa prepared us food. Zach had to buy new pants before the episode. It takes an army of people to get a sepsis show together, to get a Blizzard Bash, to get a podcast. It takes more than 2 people to build a pencil, cut down a tree, get the yellow dye, write the number 2, go down to a mine somewhere in Africa with some little kids and pull out cobalt steel. Like, how do they make the little rubber thing? You got to build a machine, and then you got to get rubber somehow, and it's got to be a machine with gears and pulleys and all kinds of...
Pollution.
You got to create a green fingerprint, thumbprint. You got to, there's this whole process, but no one can do it alone. No one can do it alone. Yeah, so, we learn and forget. We learn and then we forget. I'm always telling people, because there's so many people involved with this process, to not misuse any of it. So, when I make friends with people, I always tell them, hey man, we're friends now. You can use me. And they'll say, oh my God, Will, I would never use you, man. I say, excuse me? What do you mean you'd never use me? What the fuck you doing around me then? If you're not going to use me, let me tell you something. If you know me at home, my good friends already know this about me. If you're not using me, get the fuck out of my life. Because that means we don't have a mutual relationship. Because if you're friends with me, I'm going to use you. 100% of what you have. Whatever you have that is usable in my life, so we can heighten the quality of our experience together, I'm going to use. Now, if you don't use me, then that means we have a one-sided relationship. If I'm using you, because I use people, I use my friends, and I use them to the core. So if you know that I'm using you, then you've got to use me. And you got to use me, all of me. Because our relationship, our partnership, and our friendship needs to be mutual. So that way we can have compromise in terms of resolution and success. But if I'm using you and you're not using me, then we don't have a mutual friendship. And people get scared and fearful when you talk about using your friends. They start to feel like it's guilty because you haven't learned English yet. But I'm going to put you on to something. Never worry about using me as your friend if you're my friend. And my friends that know me well know who is my friend. Most of my friends can call me on the phone. But the point is, if you are my friend, then you have no fear in using me. Most of my friends won't call me until they can use me. And I appreciate that. Because otherwise, they'd be wasting my time misusing me. There's nothing wrong with knowing your friends and knowing what their qualities are. There's nothing wrong with being able to identify someone else's values, especially the deeper you are and the more you care about them, the more you should be able to measure those values. However, make sure you're using your friends and they are using you. Just make sure you're not misusing them.
That's when there's a problem.
That's when it gets ugly. So yeah, the trash was good. I like that one. I'll do a couple more because these are fun.
Okay. Yeah, these are fun.
Lexi likes these ones.
Yeah. I like knowing.
Okay.
Like this.
You can thank the Pope for the New Year start on January 1st. Did
What?
y'all know that?
What?
Huh?
Okay, so for all of you that didn't know, the Pope is to be thanked for New Year's being on January 1st.
Why?
Let's go. The Gregorian calendar, that's the calendar that we all use on Wall Street. That's the calendar we use to determine what day is January 1st. Okay? So for those that don't know, the Gregorian calendar was introduced in October of 1582 by Pope Gregory X111. I don't know Roman numerals.
So it'd be 7.
Okay. So Pope Gregory the 7th? Well, it was introduced in 1582 as a revised version of the Julian calendar. That was its predecessor. And that was almost 350 years it took for the rest of the world to get on board. Did y'all hear that?
It took 300 years for the rest of the world to use the Gregorian calendar?
There's been many calendars.
Mm-hmm. Think about it.
Hundreds. It's not even... I didn't want to get into that. This is just the United States
calendar.
I just want to talk about the one we're using today.
Well, now it's the global.
Because we could get into the Mayan calendar
Right.
and the Chinese calendar.
No.
I don't want to do that for this episode. We can't go over all 385 calendars.
Yeah, they didn't have instant messaging back then, so
Right.
each region of the world was its own world.
Right. If you lived on the Nile, that's the way you did it.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It didn't matter what time it was in Istanbul. Okay, so the Gregorian calendar was introduced in 1582. Just to give you, and that was introduced by the Catholic Pope Gregory the 7th. Okay, and that was a revised version of the Julian calendar. However, moving from one to the other, it took 3.5 centuries for people to agree to use the Gregorian calendar that we use today. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, It's widely been reported that the month and named January itself. So January, the month, it's been reported over history that it was named for the Roman god Junus, but it was actually rooted in the Latin word. I don't know how to say this right. Ianua, which means door. Okay, which means the door to the new year.
Yep.
Okay, try to catch on here. Art imitates life. The name was chosen to symbolize the opening of a new door that happens to be the new year. So it wasn't really that there was a new anything, that it's just symbolic. Time balls were invented to help sailors. You know, when they drop the ball,
Gotcha.
that was something that was on a ship, or to help the sailors coming in. I have to read a little bit more about that. Oh, well, here we go. Long before it was used on New Year's Eve, a ball on the top of England's Royal Observatory in Greenwich dropped at 1 p.m.
Ah,
Yeah. Starting in 1833 to help ship captains coordinate and navigate their equipment. It was a beacon. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Here's a gatekeeping fun fact. The first Times Square New Year's party was thrown for the newspaper, not for the holiday.
really?
Yes.
Huh.
It was a party promotional for the Times magazine.
Oh, no kidding.
It was like Spotify Wrapped.
Oh!
Cool, right?
What year?
1904. 250,000 people
Wow.
turned out for the party.
Whoa.
Quite a party.
And you know what? Nobody got shot.
Good for them.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? There was no
That's
no
awesome.
fentanyl. Everyone got through it.
Well, they had cocaine in the soda back then, so.
Makes for a late night.
Right?
So they've done it every year since and except for during World War II. The Times Square ball's weight has changed throughout time. I guess it's gotten bigger or smaller. These are just strange. I don't know why the balls would matter that much. Oh, that's because they make a new one. The Waterford Company comes up with a new ball pattern every year. Well,
Good for them.
Ball pattern.
yeah. Instead of balls, Miami, Florida rings in the new year with an orange. Isn't it orange or sphere? Gotcha. While over in Key West, Florida, a drag queen descends in a shoe. That's the way they do it.
Descends in a shoe?
That's the way they do it. The female impersonator, named Sushi, is lowered from a bar rooftop in a giant red high-heeled
It's pretty cool, actually.
Hershey, PA. They drop giant kiss to ring in the new year.
Like actual, like, they like
A big
explode chocolate?
A big chocolate.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
We
rock
need
band.
to go there! We need to go there! We need to go there!
Well,
Love
let's remember
to go
that.
there.
Well, everybody knows PA also makes a lot of dog food. Did you know that?
I didn't know that,
Dude.
actually.
With the chocolate.
They make chocolate and dog food.
Do they make chocolate dog food? Because that would kill the dogs.
I hope not.
That's interesting how they make chocolate and dog food.
Americans drink around 360 million glasses of sparkling wine on New Year's.
That's a lot of wine.
Oh, she's got the thing on. I'm going, why am I hearing that?
Are you hearing yourself?
Yeah. The New Year's kiss is a Roman tradition.
It's a
Interesting.
Roman tradition.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I got a couple, maybe a couple more. In Japan, it's kind of like Halloween. They terrify the children with scary masks. That's what it says.
It's a New Year.
That's
Look.
awesome.
Look.
Oh my god.
That's crazy, right? It is kind of scary.
That's
like,
gonna give
right?
someone a nightmare.
if you're in Italy on the New Year, they wear red underwear.
Nice.
You thought dropping your balls was weird. This is good enough for me.
Why? It's starting to get sexy.
This is crazy. This goes on. I don't know. This is going crazy. But that is it. That's all I got. On a quick note, I don't really have any official resolutions other than friends of mine that know me also know that for years and years and years, I used to drink alcohol every single day of my life. In my 20s, I used to drink alcohol, and time to time, people ask me, how long have I been sober for? I don't drink at the clubs. I don't drink at all. And I haven't drinking for years and years and years. I don't really know when. I don't even know when I stopped drinking. But the story with me is when I stopped drinking, I just stopped drinking it. I did the same thing with cigarettes, so I could sing and scream better in the band. And one of the big reasons for me walking away from drinking booze was to play music and to be alive and conscious enough to do it. But I wasn't the kind of person that drank booze and went to jail every night. I wasn't the kind of person that drank booze and, stole a $20 bill or started a fight or threw up on myself. I didn't stagger. I wasn't in a slumber all the time. But I definitely got to the point where drinking booze was not going to be acceptable for my health or my biology or my brain or, just my overall mental and physical well-being. It wasn't a New Year's resolution or anything like that. If there's anything we could learn from this, you don't need to wait a whole year to start something or stop something. But like cigarettes, it was like a cold turkey thing. I kind of just woke up one day and I was like, I don't like alcohol. And I don't like who it's made me become. And I don't like how it has encouraged me to have a mindset that I wasn't excited about, a motivation. And I decided right then and there, after all of those years of alcohol being a loyal and local friend to me, I decided to look it in the eye and leave it. So, the only reason why I bring that up is because I'm not really sure how long it's been since I've decided to walk away from that. But I'm here to tell y'all, you don't need to wait for Thanksgiving to be thankful. You don't need to wait for the Gregorian calendar, to tell you to practice more guitar or be a better boyfriend or whatever you're going to do. You don't need gods or goblins or special techniques or technology or social media or people cheering you on to be somebody great. You just got to wake up and want to do it. So.
All said.
Yeah, man. Heal. 2024 is not for wannabes. That's what I keep hearing. So preparing for the future. I just was gonna go over like we did like some AI shit, so I just want to go how AI can be used in business. I'm gonna do this really quick. Melissa, you might want to hear this. Oh, okay, she's listening. So I do want to go over this because for people that are not afraid of AI, instead of like telling you what to do or like, I'd rather inspire you to kind of look at the bold lettering, the bold titles I have here, and then maybe you can write them down in your own notebook, and these will be thoughts and ideas that you can expand on later on when you're ready to learn. Everybody got their notebook ready? Here we go. AI has many uses in businesses and benefits across all industries. And according to research, about 50 to 60% of companies have deployed some forms of AI tools or resources. I think, again, when people start talking about AI, it's kind of like how musicians were talking about MySpace or Facebook or Reverb or the internet or anything new. When people talk about new stuff, we're skeptical. Why? Because we've all been ripped off and we've all been duped by lead paint or fat-free or sugar-free or, Roadrunner or Xfinity or Motorola. We've all been stabbed in the back by some big company that promised us that we'd have a lifetime warranty in something. Some corporation promised you that you'll live forever and have never-ending kneecaps.
Never-ending kneecaps. That's funny.
I just wanted to... Yeah, your laugh is crazy.
Thank you.
I can hear it like over there. Like, it's like double.
That's awesome.
So I just want to throw it out there. AI automation. There's one major tool that I think people will overlook when they tend to feel embarrassed or weirded out by new products. They tend to have their ego in front of them. I don't need social media. I remember the musicians when social media came out. I make metal music. What would I need social media for? I can remember everybody making fun of bands in town and Reverb Nation. And, oh, you're on Reverb. Only real artists are on CD. Only real artists were in Sam Ash or Tower Records. Oh, only real metal. You weren't real metal unless you were in a hardcover paperback magazine. Now somebody wiped their ass with that shit. You'd be lucky. You know what I mean?
Talk about a spread.
Right. Damn. That ink ran out a long time ago. The ink at Kerrang and Loudwire, they couldn't get somebody to buy that shit if life depended on it. Automation. And that means like electing AI agents to automate certain tasks in a sense of like macro, being able to macro out your tasks by using AI automation. Not everything AI has to do with like stealing, plagiarism, or like bad art. It's just we tend to think of plagiarism and stealing in bad art because right now that's the only thing that most people can think to do with AI. Doesn't seem to be capable of
much more.
Right, and that's because we're not having these talks. So, enhanced data analytics. This is something I've already used. Like I've like taken analytics from Facebook, YouTube views and calculated them all, and then put them into AI models and asked it to make predictions about certain content and which content was doing really well, being uploaded at certain times versus long form or short form content. AI is able to see some of these calculations at a deeper dive than you would be just sitting there, and if anything else it might just point out something that your ego can't. Improved decision making based on insights from enhanced data analytics. AI can also help support improved decision making. sure about the most eye-catching advertisement title, or maybe you're not sure about a storyboard or sequence or arrangement in copywriting or poem or draft or press release. I could go on forever about that. Content generation. There's some people that say to me all the time, I'm not creative enough, William. And then I tell them to quit. No. But what I do tell them is use AI.
Yeah.
Use AI the same way people would look up and get ideas on a search engine. People aren't embarrassed about getting ideas from the dictionary. Think about that. Rappers and singers and songwriters have been getting ideas from novels and dictionaries and cartoons for years. Nobody fucking made fun of them.
Yeah, because they knew that's what those things exist for.
Right. I mean, people talk shit about, I wouldn't go see a hologram, or I wouldn't go support AI or synthetic music. Sure you would. You love Metalocalypse and Gorillaz.
I do love Metalocalypse.
So when people talk about they wouldn't support fake musicians or cartoons or anything else, I say you're a fucking liar. You like the Muppets? Gorillas? I'm happy and I'm feeling sad. I got AI with your fucking dad. You got all of it. There you go. People like dancing cartoons. I don't know why everybody thinks they're fucking cute now. Oh, I'm not going to support fake shit. Everybody loves wrestling.
Oh, they love
Everybody loves WW fucking E and all the other shit that they got out there. No one ever complains about hentai and anime. You got people blowing loads to that shit and fighting about it all over the place on blogs and Reddit. People love fake cartoon bullshit. And when people say, oh man, I'm too cool, I'm too human, Will, I'm not going to support AI, man. They sound like the same type of people who said they wasn't going to support MySpace. Who sounded a lot like the people who said there wasn't going to be cell phones in everybody's homes. Who sounded a lot like the people, when I was playing Oregon Trail, were trying to argue with my teachers that there were going to be computers in every home. It sounds a lot like smart people versus dumb people.
It really seems to be that way.
Well, some people also like to be on the outside. If liking AI is popular, they're like, well, I'm not going to do that. Just like when Facebook got popular. They're like, true. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to be different.
And the thing is, brother, I don't think, and here's where I think it gets murky. I don't think anything about social media today has made it any prettier for human beings. In the same way that I don't think CGI has made acting in Hollywood any prettier.
No, in fact, I hate a lot of movies that come out now because of all the
Do you
CGI.
feel what I'm saying? So that's why I'm never threatened about it. I don't feel that auto-tune has been wildly popular. It's artificial. Yeah. People say I'm not going to do anything artificial. What are you talking about? Your credit card is artificial. Mm-hmm. Tinder's artificial. You met your girlfriend artificially.
Your house is artificial.
The name of your street is artificial.
Your car is artificial. Your job's artificial.
What isn't
your
artificial?
Money is artificial.
Right, somebody cuts down a tree, makes a piece of paper, puts a celebrity's face on it. Oh, it's worth something. Only if you agree.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you can't get everybody to agree that the Chuck E. Cheese token is worth something.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like, I guess what I'm saying is, I hear a lot of people stomp around and say, hey, you don't have the right and the birthright to feel that way. What I'd like to point out is you don't have to like it.
Right.
That's like people who are like, I don't like social media. And they're on it every day.
Mm-hmm. No real shit.
People will exclaim from the rooftops that they don't like artificial intelligence, but they do like the security feature of using it to open up their phone. Mm-hmm. Because people don't want people to be in their phones and in their private space to look at their little naked pictures and all their little secrets. So they're really happy to have AI facial recognition in terms of people finding out the shit they beat off to. They love encryption and AI. No. But when it comes to medical tools and AI encryption and keeping your stuff private, I mean, people don't realize how much AI is needed just in the sense of we're going into a new expansive omniverse in terms of the internet. Where you need heightened levels of technology now just to even protect the massive amounts of data you have already put up there. You've got photo albums of your kids. You've been buying fucking Netflix. You got your credit cards hooked in everything. You've got, your medical information. All that we're in our phones all day. And that person could go, I don't like that. You can say, I don't like doing banking on my phone. Well, then turn it off.
Don't. Mm-hmm. If you don't like doing it, just stop.
But when people say that, and this is what I'm trying to point out, and this is why I want people to be as flexible as possible with this conversation, is because that's like somebody that understands how harmful greenhouse gases are and how harmful fossil fuel can be. Right? Mm-hmm. That's like them saying, I don't like automobiles.
But they try.
You see what I'm saying?
Drive
Like
you
right,
day.
and like the idea when you hear what automobiles is doing to birds and insects and wildlife, you go, oh, this is a bad idea. This is just as bad as anything else, right? So when you look at it and you go, okay. But accumulatively at the greatest contribution, you say, well, we're all doing it, though. So we're all doing it. And we can't stop doing it until we all agree to just stop doing it. There's a lot of things that people didn't like, and it took them centuries to stop doing it. Like slavery.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Slavery was an economic behavior. Mm-hmm. It was an economic behavior and a tool that was used to build a country and sustain families for years and years and years and years until these economic behaviors were morally unfit as the country had updated itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is true for all things like this. They ripped railroad tracks out of the ground to sell cars. Mm-hmm. They filled up, railroad tunnels and subway systems and ripped the tracks up so they could sell petroleum-based vehicles. Now, a couple centuries later, we're figuring out maybe it's not such a great idea, right?
Yeah.
Thing is, but the issue is you can't just go green by yourself.
No.
You can't just stop slavery just with one house. No. It takes time for that sort of stuff to catch on. So, AI in the same view is like there are things that we are absolutely terrified of, in the same way that there are things we should be terrified about oil. Or slavery. Mm-hmm. It has some of the same scary global consequences. We don't know what those are yet. We don't, We don't know. We really don't know what those are yet. What do you guys think in the comments?
Oil specifically, I was reading a book one time about when oil rigs first became a part of the United States, and there's a family that was living on the oil rig, and from living on the oil rig, it affected their house.
Oh.
Like their house was...
Doesn't surprise me. I mean,
that stained and...
that might have surprised people in a less scientific society. Today, it seems foolish for me to not consider where I know we're going, like it or not. That's why I said there are parts and there are characteristics and fears and concerns with AI, much like nuclear fusion or nuclear weapons, or there's some really positive benefits to being nuclear, as long as nobody wants to kill anybody.
Yeah, as long as you don't blow it up.
You know what I mean? And just, if everybody could know for sure, that nobody would use the technology to kill each other, then for some time, nuclear would be a great source of energy. It's not like you're hearing that nuclear plants are going up all the time. And when you do, it's usually environmental. Mm. It's not because people are like
shooting it down.
Shooting at it. You know what I mean? It's not
because something fell over. Because something fell over accidentally.
Usually, like there was one in Japan. There was a meltdown in Japan, but that was because there was a tsunami and earthquakes and things. And of course, you had Chernobyl and some different things, but none of those were an act of war or.
It's just a natural disaster.
So, but you could have any of those. So I think AI is here to stay regarding that. And marketing, sales, customer service, operations, human resources, cybersecurity. I covered that. This is a big one. Legal departments.
That's huge.
I'm not talking about writing laws and making stuff up. Relax. I'm talking about locating the vast amount of libraries of laws and databases that we already have, keeping them organized, being able to locate them quickly and access them, being able to compare notes, pull up files and different docket numbers.
Right.
This is fucking awesome.
That's
what
incredible.
Used to take states months and months to do, you can free up courtroom processes and make sure that the important laws get passed to control this shit.
And also it's streamlined and more readily available to the end user.
And the key takeaway of that is you don't have a clogged up, bottlenecked, human supervised court system, and
that charges you every step of the way too.
And I think they're going to do that regardless. But you have an accelerated technology industry, and then the slow as molasses, slow as snails, state-driven sticky notes. And state-funded pads of paper to push court cases. You know what I mean? In this situation, you don't have human beings that are having to go and dig through file cabinets.
Right.
So I love that there. Another quick one here is accounting. Like, for people in a world where it's becoming more artist-centric, in a world where it's becoming encouraged to start up or have your own startups, and if you do have your own skill sets, or if you have been to school, to start putting that to use. We've never been encouraged more than ever to put our own skills to use. And what better way than to have agents that can work for you in the realm of like accounting and baking and file keeping. I think we always tend to look at the internet at first as, this is going to be cool. We're all going to go to the library and we're going to learn about culture. And then a week after the internet was on, we all started looking up how to make weapons and have sex with each other. But, I think AI is the same way, and I think people fear it the same way. I think is at first, you go, this is a cool thing. This is going to help us locate cancers. You know what I mean? And it's going to help us with accounting. And then somebody across the pond goes, oh no, we're going to weaponize it and use it to scare the shit out of people. And they will. So there you go. Finances. Embrace AI across your business before it learns how to kill you. That's what I'm saying. And no matter what, don't be too proud to support AI musicians, because I don't think they're going to replace human musicians. You know what I mean? When I talk about AI musicians, because they have a chart now for AI musicians. What? I know that's not great, but so they have a chart because and would you rather them charting with humans?
I don't want them charting at all.
Okay, would you rather? The question is, would you rather?
Yeah. Instead of AI. Yeah.
Right. So right now, because of the products, because of the participation, they have outlined a demand for consumers that are excited about AI musicians, AI bands, full bands that are musicians. And before you completely throw up, this is not new.
They're just doing the same thing, but they're just doing it to AI.
This is the same thing that we saw with the gorillas. I'm happy. I'm feeling sad. I got sunshine in a bag.
They're just doing the same thing.
So when people complain about they don't like synthetic music and musicians, yes, you do. You like gorillas. You like WWE. You've liked Auto-Tune and Drake for 25 years. Stop telling me you don't like stuff you like. You like Metalocalypse. Why wouldn't you like Pixar? Why wouldn't you like AI? You guys love fake shit.
Love it.
And you're gonna like it because it's in your life. I'm just telling you now because you said you didn't like MySpace. And now you love it because it's gone.
I do miss MySpace.
Right? And when all the metal... Melissa was here. When the metal bands went over to Facebook, everybody said they were too fucking metal for Facebook because it wasn't fucking cool and it was fucking... And it was too technical and it was too much... It was too nerdy and too gamery and too inclusive for metal.
Yep.
All the fucking gangsters wouldn't do it. And we had the Reverb Nation and all the Bandoozle and the Bandontal and the bands in town and all the other bands. All right? And we had all the techno... Remember?
So many bands.
Melissa was here for this. There was fucking techno... SoundCloud came out and everybody was too fucking cool to be there. And the only way you could be real metal is if you hated everything, you didn't like it, and you refused to participate. The only metal artists at the time that could be professional were fucking celebrities. And even they got shit on. But the only at that time, when we came over and made the transition to Facebook, before Instagram started, we were a band. We were in this band when Instagram came out. Before Meta owned Instagram, I remember sitting in the basement on Sealy Road and going, damn, should we join Instagram? And none of us knew what it was.
That also means you guys were around before Spotify and
before
Reverb.
Yes, and we were the first people on it. And when we first joined it, everyone thought we were nerds. Everybody, oh my God, that's so geeky. Oh, you're going to do that and try to be metal. Everybody. It took metalheads 7 full years to get on. Why do you think they want to kill you if you ask them to get off Spotify? Because it took them 7 years for them to put their trust into it.
No, it's all they trust.
Now they won't let it. Not, you know what I mean? And just like CDs and vinyl, they won't let it go. Even when it needs to be updated.
They won't let it go.
Just like slavery.
It needs to be updated.
They wouldn't let it go.
They won't let it go.
Oh.
And it took them years and years. Just like the New Year's Eve. Just like the Gregorian calendar. It took them 300 fucking years.
They wouldn't change it.
But, bro, I see this in the halfway house. They kept having guys in the prison go up to the halfway house. And they'd say, go walk the streets and fill out applications. And guys would come back and say, they don't fill out paper applications anymore. You need terminal. And they say, you're walking around too much. You're spending time on the street. We're yanking you back into prison. And the guys would say, why are you yanking me back into prison? They say, because you can't get a job. And they say, we can't get a job because we don't have internet access. For years and years and years, he wouldn't give the guys internet access to fill out an application.
And they probably still don't.
So you have the state sitting, but you have technology. You have the laws and the courts sitting, but you have technology. That's why you have kids right now with TikTok accounts make more than their fucking parents, and there's no laws to regulate it. It's crazy.
You have people sitting and they can't go anywhere. It's crazy.
It's a gold rush. It's a wild, wild west. You can't. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't. You honestly can't do anything about it because it's never been done before. How do you write laws on shit when the technology has moved so fast the laws can't catch up? The people who write the laws, the ink dries up before the AI.
I feel like they did all this on purpose.
No. But what I'm saying is, we don't even have to dig or dive or like do an investigation. We know what we know, and that's all we need to know. We know the Gregorian calendar's fake.
It's all fake.
So we don't need to know anything else.
It's all artificial.
Mm-hmm.
So when did we care about things being artificial?
We never did.
Then there's nothing to worry about. Your driver's license isn't real. It's not like your driver's license makes you a more skilled driver.
No, more people with driver's license get in car accidents. And
let me put it to you this way. God knows. Licenses don't make you a better fisherman.
Doesn't make you qualified.
A badge doesn't make you a more caring individual or more powerful.
Doesn't make you qualified.
A crown doesn't make you king. A Spotify number doesn't make you a real musician. A badge doesn't make you a public figure. Playing guitar doesn't make you a nice guy. Being popular doesn't mean you're rich. Being rich doesn't mean you're talented. Being rich, popular, and talented doesn't mean you're nice.
It's all fucked up. This whole thing is just fucked up.
It's all just an illusion.
Yeah.
It's all just silly stuff.
It's all just games and stupid stuff.
Just games. Live your life.
Yeah.
Live your life. 5 things you want to know about before you explode.
Oh. Well, that's exciting.
Ooh.
So, what should we know?
I'm going to go through this as fast as I can. Building on previous national climate assessments, a new report had found extreme events like drought, heat waves, hurricanes, wildfires continue, especially in 2004, to increase with severity, and they predict more extent and with frequency, facilitated accordingly, growing by the evidence and by human-caused climate change.
Okay.
We are documenting the country's most extreme weather year yet, and this is calculating with 22 and 23 setting records in both numbers and the cost of weather-related disasters over the 4 decades. If nothing else, make an argument about it. You can be a conspiracy theorist. One thing for sure, we have spent more money on repairing shit from the weather. So people that even are on the other side and go, oh no, Will, the hurricanes are fake, but the bill is real. So we're spending the money is what I'm saying. So maybe the hurricanes and the earthquakes are fake, but the numbers for how much we pay as taxpayers to rebound and recover is more. And it's increasing. This is sad. Really. The United States experienced 18 weather climate disasters and damages exceeding $1 billion in 22. To put that into perspective, the country experienced only 3 similar scale disaster events per year on average in the 1980s. Since 2018, there has been one every 3 weeks or less, totaling an $89 billion events.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
That's crazy, dude.
Holy shit!
Just to think like on a I don't know if that's possible for some people to. Black communities will bear the brunt of flooding disasters. As the extreme events increase, they will impact certain communities more than others. Neighborhoods that are home to racial minorities and low-income people will have the highest inland ravine flood exposures in the South. Black communities nationwide are expected to bear the disappropriate share of future flood damages, both coastal and inland, because of where poorest people get pushed. They get pushed downhill. Basically, rich people live on hills.
Yeah.
It's just a mean thing, but I'm sorry to report that. The flood risk is due part to exclusionary housing practices that also affect those communities' abilities to adapt to climate concerns, meaning they have no money to rebound when things do get destroyed, unfortunately. Addressing climate change is a pressing health issue. While most visible consequences of warming climate include the physical destruction of devastating weather events, other than climate change repercussions, including those brought on by increased warm periods and worsening air quality. It's for the first time in the last couple of years, children are being born with human-related environment respiratory problems. Never before have there been human beings that have been born with respiratory problems because of people.
Oh.
Wow.
That's new. That's new. That's something brand new. Go do your homework if you don't like it.
That's horrible.
Go do your homework if you don't like it, though. You know what I mean? Health risks from climate, from the changing climate, include higher rates of heat-related morbidity and mortality, increases in the geographic range of some infectious diseases, greater exposure to poor air quality, increases in adverse pregnancy outcomes, higher rates of I don't even know how to say that, neurological, cardiovascular, the list goes on. Disabilities, homelessness, with warming climates leading to worsening water and air quality, the limited food access, deaths from persistent drought, as well as the changes in distribution, abundance, and seasonality, vector-borne diseases, Lyme, Dyne, and West Nile. It also impacts the transmission and severity of other diseases like the common cold. Mental health conditions, including anxiety, depression, and suicide, are all linked and prevalent in the USA the past decade, especially among adolescents as climate change increases. Scientists agree that the heat directly affects the way that we feel. So, do your homework. Do your homework. That's all I'm telling y'all. It's interesting. I just hope people hear something like what I'm saying now. And instead of just listening to me, maybe they go do if there's anything in there that's interesting for real, please go look for yourself. That's what I hope to inspire. Yeah. So because we're all gonna die, I figured I would share 7 pantry foods that will never expire. Because if you're gonna build a house on Ruby Ridge, you're going to need canned goods. Many staple foods can sit for years or even decades if stored in a cool, dry pantry. It's still perfectly fine to eat. In fact, these pantry foods that I'm going to name never expire, so y'all better stock the fuck up. Pantries, oh, this is crazy too. Here's a little history for you. Pantries date back to medieval times, and in those days, they were rooms that only stored bread, usually. In most today's homes, these spaces are dedicated to housing a wider variety of foods, and sometimes as much of it as we can cram into our shelves. Under the right conditions, some pantry staples can last for years and be safe to eat. Canned foods. Canning process locks out oxygen. Yep. They stay fresh even long past the expiration date. People don't really think about that, but just because something says the expiration date, like especially with canned goods, if there's no bumps on the can, or if there's nothing been squished or hasn't been tampered with, it could last a lot longer than when it says that it's expired. Some people think expiring means Best By. Best By date is different than expiration date. Yeah, this says it here too. Stored improperly can cause botulism. And I think that'd kill you, I think. So your cans, don't quote me on that, but I know it'll get you sick. Cans that look rusty and shit like that, get rid of them.
They got a big bubble on the side. Or
Yeah.
got, like,
Skip it. Even a dent. Even a dent, because you could be introducing oxygen, and once you introduce oxygen, you're going to have a place for bacteria to grow, is what I'm guessing. Here's one that everybody should know about. Salt. And dude, salt never goes bad. Think about it.
That's why they usually use salt as a preservative.
Dude, I was going to touch on it, but he's right. Let's say you have meat.
Yep.
And
Rub
you
in some salt.
Yep.
Dude, if you really, because the bacteria, bacteria won't, some of it will, but a lot of the really harmful shit won't penetrate. The salt's so potent, it won't penetrate. It's fantastic stuff. If you're trying to build up your stores of non-perishable food, feel free and comfortable stocking up on salt. When stored in an airtight container, this natural preservative will last forever. Forever, man. Salt is crazy. It's like, salt's a mineral, I think. It's like a rock, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I hope I didn't screw that up. Can you look that up so I don't sound dumb?
I believe it's a rock that can become a mineral, and my phone.
I just don't want to sound dumb. Is salt a mineral? Because then someone's going to message me later like, that guy's bullshit.
Well, people do that even if they don't know the information. People
That's
will
true.
claim that.
Salt, also known as table salt or rock salt, is a crystalline mineral.
Ah!
That is composed primarily of sodium chloride, NaCl,
That's
a
awesome.
chemical compound. Salt for human consumption is produced in different forms. Unrefined salt, such as sea salt, refined salt, table salt, and iodized salt.
Yeah.
It's a mineral because it's a crystal.
That's fucking awesome.
That's dope.
And
Makes
common
sense.
salt or sodium chloride occurs naturally in the pure solid form as the mineral, a word I can't pronounce,
Oh.
and
Must
in
be
widely distributed deposits of rock or yeah. So
Let's
yes.
There you go.
That's cool.
Here's another good one.
Yeah.
Honey.
Honey!
Ooh, that makes sense.
It may be liquid, but this viscous sweetener has a very low water content, which helps it last for years.
That's dope.
Even when honey changes color or crystallizes, it's
Yeah.
still good as long as the container is sealed.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Sugar.
Now that I did not know.
I didn't know. Yeah.
And
I
all
did not know
kinds of
that.
sugar.
All kinds, even brown sugar?
Brown, powdered, white. It lasts.
Concentrated?
It lasts indefinitely. Sugar can harden over time, but it is still safe to eat if you don't mind the texture.
No kidding.
You can fucking eat it, man.
That's dope.
Huh.
And you know, in a pinch, that gets you through something if you needed it to.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be great, but if all you had was a sugar cube and you needed it,
There it is.
yeah. Another one is maple syrup. Like honey, pure maple syrup
Ooh.
has low water content and can last for ages. Maple syrup!
Like the bear on my arm.
Maple fucking syrup!
He's got a maple
Really?
syrup bottle.
That's dope. It doesn't expire.
Here's another one you save. Alcohol.
Oh yeah,
Oh, definitely.
that I knew.
I
If
didn't
you
know
don't have a
that.
couple of dude, you gotta have a couple of bottles of some Everclear vodka, some fucking
yeah.
potent shit, some moonshine. I'm telling you, get yourself some strong ass alcohol, and
Right.
you just never open it.
Usually
That shit has
ages
multiple
better with time.
Yeah.
Well, put it this way: if you're gonna die, though, you might want to take a shot. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
What if you're new? Like, here comes the comment. Oh, honey, let's break out the Everclear. It's done. We're done here.
Mm-hmm.
You break out the Everclear and hold each other.
And then be encapsulated in ash for thousands of years.
Vanilla extract!
What?
Pure vanilla extract. Not the imitation bullshit, though.
Oh, okay. The pure one.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I
The real
think,
legit
yeah,
shit.
yeah, it's mostly alcohol. That's why.
That's really interesting. I didn't
Yeah,
know
in
that.
fact, old story has it, people that are trying to stay off the sauce should stay away from vanilla extract.
Huh.
White vinegar!
I didn't know that.
Yep. This highly acidy liquid is a preservative for a reason. Distilled white vinegar will last forever in a cool, dark place. Given that it can be used for cooking, cleaning, or even gardening, it's worth stocking up on the gallon.
Same with alcohol.
Wow, man. She's gonna... White rice! I told you! white rice inside an airtight food storage container like a bucket. All varieties of uncooked white rice will last forever.
No kidding. Is that the same kind of rice that you put your phone in when you get it wet?
Yep. Just keep it safe from pantry pests. You know.
So like mice and bugs and shit.
Yeah. Sometimes like just some type of like small beetles and just different like pantry pests. Things that are hungry.
Yeah, but I think you can eat beetles and
protein. There's no problem. There's no problem. Is not the thing you have to worry about is the animals using the bathroom in the food.
Yeah.
That's what makes you sick. That it's not so much the beetle. It's what
it shits out.
Yes. That's just part of the chain of life.
That's life.
Okay. Another dried grain that will go off for a long shelf life is also oats.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Oats. Airtight container again. What happened there, Melissa? Did the thing mess up?
It's been doing that, unfortunately. I can't really do anything about it. We're still on.
Oh, okay. I just saw on the phone. It was like
reconnecting a couple times.
Okay. All right. That's right. We only got a couple minutes. Here's another one. Dried beans. Though they may take longer to cook than usual, many varieties of dried beans remain edible.
Dry beans?
That's amazing.
Beans, man. You can look, and I just want to show you too how they're stored.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually.
This is how you live forever. I'm gonna show everybody at home too.
Yeah.
This is if you can teach yourself how to make great bean recipes. If shit hits the fan, dude, sugar and beans and syrup and honey and this shit that I'm laying this out for you guys. You guys might think I'm crazy, and I'm not no type of doomsday prepper. I'm saying this is regular stuff, guys.
I said beans, and you put the bean emoji.
But like, this isn't for just doomsday preppers. This is good food.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say beans are like the best protein you can have.
Stock up the cornstarch.
What? That's cool.
Of course.
Yeah, the thing you want to stay away from is bugs and moisture. That's it.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Popcorn?
Dude, you're going to freak out. Powdered milk.
Ugh.
Oh.
Y'all ain't listening to me. If you're in the middle of survival,
that's your best friend,
right, you're talking about, and you're thinking about making a glass of milk. Think about cooking muffins. Think about baking bread. Think about, this is the end of the world. This is the apocalypse. You need this stuff to last. You don't have a refrigerator anymore. There's no.
You need that powder
right.
milk.
You're right. A person can say ew, but the stuff I'm naming, you don't need electricity for. You don't need the internet for.
Just need
That's why I'm naming all of this.
Hans, you drank powdered milk as a kid.
Can I tell you something? Be careful, because a lot of people drink powdered milk. It just matters how you grow up.
I know.
All right, because I was going to say, a lot of people that I grew up with, that's regular in their homes. People that... for those who don't know, I'm going to help everybody at home, okay? For those that don't know, your regular unprivileged neighbors, that's something that they have to do, guys. You know, mac and cheese, powdered milk, government cheese. If you think it's crazy, that's how normal people live every day. So have some civility. You know what I mean? And if you want to learn more about how poor people live, do your homework. It's worth looking into. They're your neighbors. You should care about them, and you should be excited to learn about how people are sleeping outside with no home this winter. I think it's important, because it could be you. So now learn how to live on beans. Corn syrup. Mm-hmm. An unopened bottle of corn syrup can last forever. It loses some sweetness over time and it tastes like shit, but it is safe to eat. My favorite one on the list. all hell breaks loose. There's a tsunami. But you have a pantry. Instant coffee.
No shit.
Instant coffee lasts forever.
That's incredible.
Ooh. Even if it crystallizes. Dude, kept in a cool, airtight container, dry spot, instant coffee can last for over 20 years.
That's amazing.
Huh.
That's amazing.
So
that's good. And if you survive a tsunami, you're gonna need that for coffee.
No,
that's
says
incredible.
It says making an excellent argument. Plan on keeping an unopened jar on hand for your next emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it'd be a jar of coffee and a shot of vodka to get you through the meteorite. Mm-hmm. To get you, I'm telling you.
Get you some meal.
Right.
Get you something in your stomach.
It could be the difference of you cleaning out a wound with that Everclear vodka.
You could probably also use the instant coffee for like cleaning
This shit
too.
is fun, bro.
I imagine. Like some stains and stuff.
Man, and this one's gonna make Melissa happy. Tea. It never spoils. It loses flavor all the time, but it may be less, as it might be less enjoyable to drink. If it's stored properly and kept dry, it'll be safe to drink in general for years and years.
Wow.
Nice.
I learned something.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's dope.
That's all I have on. There's more, but like that's
So wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. Definitely something to bookmark.
Okay, so moving right along. You're hearing this a lot more now. But Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson on why there aren't many new arena-level bands, he says. You hearing this? Iron Maiden's Bruce Dickinson on why there aren't many new arena-level bands. There aren't many new ones, he says. I just want to get into the statement. Bruce Dickinson says there aren't many new arena-level bands. I wonder, with all due respect, I love Maiden. I'm being serious. I wonder how many big arenas they sell out themselves.
Well, now or back then?
When we talk in terms of back then, some people watching this weren't even born. So I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? That might feel like ancient history to somebody sitting at the table. So I'd like to stay current if possible. The thing is he's making a current day statement. Okay? If he was making the statement back in 1988, I'd feel differently about it. Because unless you're Taylor Swift, who's how many, when he talks about there aren't many new arena level bands, name the last new arena level band. Ghost?
A day to remember?
Can they do an arena?
I think they only do arenas now.
We'd have to check for
the
sure.
The only one I could think of is Falling in Reverse.
Well, all I'm telling you right now is those. Really I'm just telling you right now.
Oh, you know what? Sleeping with Sirens and Pierce the Veil usually do arena-sized tours.
Okay. Just for context, there are some artists that book and rent and schedule the arena, but they don't fill it. So a lot of times, I've seen Slayer in an arena and they cut half of it off.
So what would make a band an arena style?
When they fill the arena. If you can't fill the seats,
multiple times.
I think it's safe to say that if you're not consistently filling the majority of the capacity of the seats in the arenas for your last season, you're not an arena band.
So would the band have to be a headliner?
You're asking me a lot. But this is you're asking me opinion-based stuff. That's what I'm saying. So because you're asking me, I'm gonna put myself. So anybody listening to this has to understand, I'm not anyone to tell anybody what they are. This guy says, I'm analyzing what he's saying.
Yeah.
Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden says, Iron Maiden, is all the members in that band? The original members?
No.
So we need to start there. Okay, so we need to say who's making the
statement. In
statement.
fact, Bruce Dickinson's not even the original singer.
Okay, so we need to start there. And then he says, and he wants to know on why. That's important. Why there aren't any, key takeaway, new, and then number 3, arena, level. So there's a lot going on there. There is a celebrity that there's the questions on the why there aren't many new arena level. There's a lot going on there.
What are the qualifications of this arena style band that he's referring to?
And to answer your question, from my opinion, I would say, before I read what he has to say, an arena level band, it's like saying a bar level band. It's kind of a non professional term.
Okay.
That's not something. No one would say, when you're at a private practice level of dentistry. That's kind of just like an immature
way of saying
looking at dental care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to see 2 dentists
go head to
say,
head.
I haven't seen any new dentists that fill the chairs. You know what I mean?
You're not a dentist,
right? I don't. You're not at a private practice dental level yet.
Right.
I don't understand what that means. It doesn't mean that you play better guitar or remove teeth better. I just want to. But what I'm saying is, my opinion on arena level bands is like bar bands or house party bands. You're a house party band when you rock the house. You know what I mean? You're a bar band when you rock the bar. Boom.
Yeah.
If you can't fill the bar and rock the bar,
then you're not a bar band.
Then you're not the bar band yet. You know what I'm saying? I think so. For me, whether it's the pool hall or the arena or the barbecue, you need to be able to have draw. So when he's talking about that he needs new arena, usually those bands weren't new. They were put on with other bands. They were packaged up. Mm-hmm. Those were the old arena style bands are the new festival band.
Mm. Gotcha.
It's acquisitional. As I said earlier, very rarely are you going to see just Godsmack. No. Even like when I saw Slayer with Gojira. There was somebody else on it. I think it was 3 bands, but I know Gojira was there. And then Slayer had a lengthy set. We saw them over here in Lowell. It's tiny. It's an arena. Mm-hmm. They couldn't fill that. That was years ago when the music scene was good. So, and no knock to them, but I'm just saying, like, we see a lot of celebrity bands that can't pack Jewel, bro.
That's true.
There's a lot of national acts that can't pack a little bar.
Like the
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of national acts that get brought in to New England, New Hampshire, and they're advertised as national acts.
And they can't pack
and very rarely can they pack the floor. So, you know what I mean? So when he's talking about new arena bands, I think he's asking for something that no one's seen in the last 40 years of rock and roll. It's just a weird statement. There aren't any new bands that pack arenas.
Right, that just descend from the clouds.
I like Ghost, but they package those bands all up with other bands, and they all do it together.
Yeah. They even package themselves.
Who's an arena band? Would they go there? I'll tell you who. Ariana fucking Grande. That's who. Taylor Swift. That's who can pack. Travis Scott. That's who can pack it. Ed Sheeran. That's who arena acts are. Yeah. It's quite different nowadays. No shit. And much more affected by corporate influence. Okay. Which has diminished the overall star power of the bands in the modern age and blockaded the rise of arena filling bands. That's the idea. The reason for that, he says, he believes is the big corporations took everything over and they're interested in making money, so they propagate the big headliners, but they don't bring on the bands that create the drama and create the fan base and create the dedication to bring it up. It's a lot different than what the headline says.
Yeah.
Dickinson continues in mentioning that the dedication needed for a band to become truly famous. You don't become a headliner overnight. You become a headliner by doing loads of gigs at a load of places, and fans and people follow you. All of a sudden you're at Wembley Arena and you're thinking, oh my god, these guys are playing arenas. I think he's just chatting there. The next big step up from the arena is, oh, they're going to go headline a festival, or oh, they're great, they're the festival headliner, and at that moment you got to take a step up into that world. I'm not so sure what he meant by that, but again, I think we're just living in a different time. He kind of he trailed off there and was talking about how back in the day we used to have radio, and back in the day we used to have submarines without sonar. I understand. I get it. What do you guys think about old Bruce?
He's a funny guy.
He's funny. Mm-hmm. Lexi, do you want to do this? We'll do there'll be so much on Blue Ridge. We'll be able to do that all year.
All year long, of course.
You want to talk about this, why does sex terrify Americans?
Yeah.
It's the last story for the night.
Yeah, my phone's dead, though.
Okay, you can use mine.
Okay.
Did you have notes and all of that? You can just read it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Good luck.
So, more people openly despise the erotic and the more secrets they have hidden in their closets. There is one psychological trait that is common in the United States, and it's what psychologists call projection. It's a defense mechanism where individuals attribute one's own unacceptable urges to another. So, for example, if someone continuously bullies and ridicules a peer about his insecurities, the bully might be projecting his own struggle with self-esteem onto that person.
That's interesting.
One reason anti-gay crusaders end up in gay sex scandals is because they hate in others what they hate most in themselves. So they attack others for being gay because they themselves are gay as well.
That's like people who will say, why don't you just give up? Why don't you just give in on your dreams? Why don't you just quit?
Because they already did.
Because they've already quit. And they can't, looking outside themselves, it's hard to imagine anyone being successful because they don't see themselves as a success.
Because
really
they never
sad.
Experienced that success.
So they don't allow other people to be free to their own sexuality. They don't allow other people to be free because
they're not.
They don't see themselves as being free to do things. That's sad, but go ahead.
In terms of sex in general, this can mean people who grow up being told sex is disgusting, sinful, a loss of innocence, etc.
So if you
become most obsessed.
So
with
if you're
sex.
a kid or you're a young person, and maybe somebody is witness or subject to your behaviors or thoughts, and they come down on you for that, and they introduce negative thoughts with these activities and behaviors, that later on you might grow up and communicate with others in the same way. So people say, masturbation is disgusting. If your dad kicked you in the head and told you that every day, you might grow up and see other people doing that, or your children doing that, or you might, what I'm saying, you might catch your best friend doing it and hate. Yeah. I don't know about any of this. Let's go. This is good stuff.
Americans are experts at projection when it comes to sexuality, and the more sexually repressed they are, the more they project their sins onto others.
Yo, that's fucking wild.
Right?
Mm-hmm. We have seen multiple scandals within Catholicism of celibate priests with underage people.
That's unfortunate, yeah.
Yes.
I was there during the whole thing.
There's a secret list of hundreds.
I'm from the 80s. I know about all of that stuff.
Church and stuff.
Yeah.
Yet in American politics, the most self-righteous willing to impose their theory or theology on others by force of law have been given the Catholic hierarchy, and even I don't want to pronounce that word.
Okay. If it's not.
Yet these groomers point fingers at drag queens and other people because they themselves are those things. They're projecting again.
Smite the almighty smiter.
And they smite themselves. Yeah.
Smiting.
So in the Western world, there's a source there that says there's a power-hungry church long ago that learned guilt is a wonderful tool for the subjugation of others. Histories of the rise of Catholicism show power-hungry popes using marriage and sex as a means of controlling the political hierarchy. It allowed them to transfer power to the Vatican, along with vast amounts of wealth. So they used sex and marriage, and they created this whole product for us.
Punishment and reward. Punishment
to control.
It's punishment and reward.
Mm-hmm. To control.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Priests were even eventually forbidden to marry because they left the wealth of their wives and children in the church and wanted those riches for itself. And in addition, by imposing celibacy on priests and teaching it was the more moral option, they found the perfect means of social control.
They were like, hold on, honey, you stay here. I'm going to keep my gold hat. That's crazy. I'm going to keep these young boys in this gold hat, all right? Talk to you later.
Right.
That's crazy.
There are a few universal needs. The most obvious are food, water, and sexual release. The human body evolved with sexual release necessary. If it isn't done while awake, it is often done while asleep. A strong urge that the church made sinful means confession and seeking absolution. Both are methods of control!
This is crazy.
This is seriously, it seems like this is all built to control! I hate it!
This is crazy.
Let's keep reading! I hate this so much! I'm no longer public Lexi. One result of this anti-sex, anti-body theology is that it inspires the guilty to seek out scapegoats.
Yeah.
What? They need someone to blame. Oh my gosh! They need someone to blame for their urges or hidden activities.
Lexi's triggered. She's getting shit about the pop.
So they scream about the media or library books. What the fuck? Or drag queens. It's always someone's fault that they routinely violate their own moral standards. What the fuck?
Oh, man.
Why they gotta go on the book? Okay. Eric Adam was a weatherman for TV One. It's a news station in New York. And he did a sexually explicit video cam.
Oh, okay.
With consenting adults. Some bitter individual.
That's just like the guy, the bass player from Megadeth that was playing with his Johnson or whatever.
Consented people and was ridiculed. That's basically where that was going, yeah. Fucking lost his job.
Everybody in heavy metal got mad at this guy for playing with his Johnson. I'm like, why do you think people get into heavy metal?
Well, I think it was because he was actually just cheating on his wife.
How do you know?
Oh, because somebody hacked his...
Yeah, but we don't really know. Maybe him and his wife are into that.
Right!
Could be.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't know.
Big market.
You don't know what their relationship is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Based on what somebody's doing on the internet, you can't really tell about what his relationship is with his wife. Whatever I do on the internet, you can't tell how deep my relationship is with Melissa. People have been watching me and Melissa on the internet for 15 years. They have no clue what our favorite position is. How would they know? We never told them. Mm-hmm. So what me and Melissa don't tell you, you don't know.
Correct.
So when people watch people jerking off on television or whatever they think they're looking at, it's not like they know anything but that. So they look at somebody doing something, and they go, I know everything about a person because I watched them picking their nose. No, you don't.
You don't
know it's called a parasocial relationship, and it's one-sided and ultimately destructive.
Yeah, no, for real. Continue. I'm sorry.
It just went on to tell about the story about this poor guy
losing his job. Let me hear about
him.
No, I want to hear about him losing his job.
Okay. So...
Not really, but you know what I mean.
There was an explicit video cam with consenting adults. Some bitter individual decided he should be punished. So they sent the screen captures of Adam to the station and to his mother to further the embarrassment. And then the station fired Adam.
Oh.
Okay? He was fired for this.
I hope he sues them.
Adam handled the whole thing badly and immediately went into apology mode with the I'm sick sort of excuse making. He branded his sexual needs compulsive behavior, which is a psychological equivalent of the guilt-inducing sin theory of the church. Yes, sex is compulsive and that sexual needs are present in almost all people for most of their life. That isn't a compulsion anymore than breathing is. Drinking water, eating food. It is a natural need.
Mm-hmm. Put a 1 in the chat if sex is a natural need.
When you think about it, the only purpose in any animal and plant's life is to reproduce and keep your species going.
If we don't do it, there's a problem with that. I will say that. Wow, this is enlightening. That's good.
Well, I'm saying, what?
Let me hear it.
Why is sex a sin for humans, but any other animal, the squirrels, the bees, the bears... They can fuck all the time.
The bears don't have the Pope.
I was just about to say, because the church.
Another one.
Let's remember that...
There's no Catholic guilt amongst woodland critters.
I was going to say, the animals, at least the warm-blooded ones, they haven't learned yet how to read religious books and websites. But when they do, they will also slut-shame.
Some counselors make a good living dealing with sexually compulsive actions of people who hurt no one, but they buy into the psychiatric equivalent of sin and feel guilty.
Like, yeah, man, I've been thinking my whole life about Stuff that nobody knows.
Mm-hmm. Go to the therapist for absolution, and like the church, he gets well paid for absolving people of having natural urges. I emphasize natural urges.
This is like my argument about musicians being natural. And originally, prior to human beings, Thank you.
You just got 20 stars from Brandon.
Wow.
Thank
you. We have been convinced only recently that music is economic. So it reminds me of that, of how we've been kind of convinced that, we've been convinced out of our creature. We've been convinced out of our own birthright. We've been dancing for rain longer than we've been dancing for Spotify.
We have natural urges.
We have a natural urge to make music because music has naturally been here before human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Whales and bats and all types of creatures use infrared and sonic location, and they use echolocation, and they sing and chirp and beat and use rhythms and patterns on the ground to communicate with each other. But yet somehow human beings, we pretend that we made up frequency.
Whales have top 50 hits, and that's a real thing that you can look up.
How come we pretend that we made up frequency and notes? So we go, the music is mine.
Mm-hmm. Adam says he's getting professional help so he can make appropriate decisions.
He just wanted to keep his job.
But really, who did he hurt?
They used to do that to people in jail. You know what I'm saying? They you know what I mean? People who couldn't afford a lawyer, they get them to commit to crimes that they might not have done. So they get they stack up 15 crimes. You may have done one or two things, but they stack up a whole bunch of them on you. So why you can't, why you're so caught up trying to pay attention to all of this overwhelming stuff you weren't prepared for. By that time, you don't have no points, or you don't have a room to stand on to argue and make a case for the stuff you may actually have done. That reminds me of that. Here this guy's apologizing, trying to keep his job. He really shouldn't be apologizing.
Right.
He shouldn't be confessing.
That's why they give you the right to remain silent and not, that's why lawyers tell you to shut.
This guy obviously was trying to keep his job.
Yeah, but he's probably doing more damage by confessing to something. That's what I
mean. By somebody says, "Man, you're a terrible person for masturbating," then you go, "Okay,
I'm sorry, I did it."
In order to keep your job, you have to go to a therapist to control your masturbating.
Right. If you apologize, that implies guilt.
Right. It means you agree that it's wrong.
But they forcefully impose that guilt upon you to make you do all these things when you shouldn't be guilty. There's no guilt. John Casey, he's an editor of the LGBT, the Advocate. He joined on the pile of people that Adam was dealing with at the time that says that he should have been fired. Casey said that Adam's cam sessions were a world of debauchery, decadence, and alliance. It
means it was all perfectly legal. Mm-hmm. Somebody just didn't agree with it.
That only those in the know about.
Right, meaning they were doing explicit things that he didn't agree with.
Yeah.
What I'd like to point out here is that none of the acts that none of these people were committing were illegal or criminal.
Right.
I think that has to be said. This is stuff that people are doing at their homes.
Legal activity.
Right. Doesn't matter if you like the people or what they're doing. You have to still remember it's within the legal birthright. Mm-hmm. It's within their, it's within the realms and within their legal birthright to be doing what they're doing. It's not
remember, if it happens to these people, it can happen to you.
Right. That's why we're reporting it.
This idea that one should feel guilty over natural biological needs is absurd. What matters is twofold. Are they hurting others or violating their rights? If the answer is no, then it isn't a legal matter, and people should mind their own business and leave them alone.
I think that's a great place to end it on. Because really, if it's not lowering the quality of another human being's life, you have the control and the ability yourself to not watch. I'm always surprised when I hear people collecting all the evidence on this, because you have to sit there and watch and be on all this material to gain all this fact-finding information. You have to dig pretty hard on somebody to know what type of body parts they're licking.
You must really like enjoying watching them.
So the point I'm trying to make is you have to do a very hardy and robust deep dive on somebody to be hanging out with them at the strip club. So if you don't have the self-control to ignore that kind of stuff, you're probably more interested in it than the people that are already doing it. Have a good night.